Hello, welcome to another Gundam Battle Operation 2 video. That is the new suit, the Jeda. And you know what? It brings the cheddar. Thank you. You can go home now. You can rest in your beds after hearing that fucking awful joke. Okay, yeah, but seriously. New suit, the Jeda. It's from Moon Gundam, which I believe is a manga. I have no idea how to read it. I'm pretty sure it's not even translated. If it is, I'd like to know where I can read it. It looks pretty cool. I don't know jack shit besides that it takes place before Char's counterattack, and I believe the Jeda is the predecessor to the Jagan series, and there's some other suits that are kind of like that in a sense, predecessors to to something like the new Gundam or the Sazabi. I believe they're called like the Vargwil, and then there's like the Moon Gundam, stuff like that. I'm not even sure if it's canon or not, but yeah. Anyway, we got the Jeda, which is it's a better Jagan, which is funny because it's like before the Jagan. I think the Jagan would be the better one, but no, we'll get into it now. It starts off, it's a 2-star. It's you got a level 1 is 450, and we'll start off from some stats here. You got 16,000 HP. You have 17 ballistic and beam resistance. You have 20 melee resistance, 30 range strength, 15 melee strength, 130 speed, 210 boost speed, 17 thruster gauge, and 63 turning speed. And then for your slots, you have 6 close, 17 mid, and 9 long range slots. Now, I forgot to explain, by the way, this first match here is a quick match with me, Mick, and Taru, and the second match is going to be a ranked match with me and Taru only. And yeah, you'll see the results here. But yeah, as you can see from the stats I just mentioned for the Jeda, I almost said the Jagan, and I'm probably going to call it the Jagan at some point in this. The stats, it seems like they don't want you to go for melee with this suit, but the thing is, the melee is actually pretty good in regards to that. It actually has a lot of range on its downswing. There is one downside to that, though, and I'll get into it when I get to the melee and the pros and cons. But yeah, even though it has 15 melee strength, this still has some pretty useful melee. The range strength is definitely helpful for its weapons. And you know what? For having 17 ballistic and 17 beam resistance and that 20 melee resistance, you can definitely buff up how you want the suit to be. You can go for some beam, you can go for some ballistic, or do you want some melee resistance? Okay, there's some melee resistance you can put on. So I appreciate that kind of balanced buffing you can do with the suit. The only problem is that you only have 6 close range slots, so you don't have a lot of room to do a bunch of melee. You can pull off something like a level 5 melee, or you can balance it, put in like a 2, and then maybe put in some thrusters in there as well. For me, I just went for some melee strength in place of thrusters, 'cause I think having 70 is fine for me. But yeah, there's that. And then we're going to start off with the weapons here. For your primary weapons, you have the Jeda beam rifle, which is 1,900 damage, 5 rounds, and 350 range. It's an instant stun rifle, so that's really nice. It's 5 rounds, so it's EPAC. Decent damage for a beam rifle, and you know what? You get 5 stuns. For a lot of people, that's good enough. You get a stun in melee, so there you go. Good enough. And then you have the Jeda Beam Saber, which is 2,100 damage. And yeah, this is a pretty good... it's got a pretty good moveset there, I'll say that. The Neutral Swing, I believe, is unique. There might be another suit that has it. It's not unique in the way it hits. It's just a straight jab. But it looks like the way he moves, it looks like it's unique. You know what I'm saying? You reach out for the jab, and then the downswing, I'm pretty sure it's the Stamen's downswing, I think. That or the Zaku 3 Customs, maybe they're both the same. I don't remember. I haven't played the Stamen in a little bit. But you get some excellent ground coverage when you use that downswing. There is a problem though with the neutral swing and the downswing. The neutral swing, if you're far enough from your opponent, depending on the suit they have, the neutral swing will not reach them when they're on the ground. And then the downswing has a massive dead zone for the lack of a better term, when you go in for your melee. If you're really close to somebody, and I don't mean like up front in their face, but if you're close enough to somebody and you do your downswing, you will actually miss them, even though you're directly in front of them, and your beam saber is literally passing through their fucking bodies. You've probably seen this in my initial thoughts. Not initial thoughts. This is the initial thoughts. You probably saw it in the testing out video. My bad, but yeah, where I went for a downswing at a certain range, and it'll just go through people, no damage at all, and that's just that seems like a little bit of an oversight on the devs' parts. I hope they fix that or correct that hitbox. Maybe it was on the other suits, we just never noticed, but yeah, so be careful at the range you're hitting this downswing. If you're far enough from an opponent, it doesn't matter anyway. And it almost kind of feels like the beam saber readies up a little bit slower than other weapons, but that might be just my mind playing tricks on me, because GBO2 is being ass and not, letting people do dodge rolls out of my shit when I know it can work, because they do it against me. Typical GBO2 stuff. But yeah. Already looking pretty good with these two weapons here. And then for your secondary weapons, you have the Jeda Vulcan pod system, which is 115 damage, 30 rounds, and 200 range. And they're pretty good Vulcans, 150 damage. And since there's 30 and they actually stun, a little bit over 15 shots and you'll get a stun. And that's pretty useful on its own if you're having just the Vulcans and you're working with somebody else with accumulation stun. But you can actually mix it up with your other weapons that you have that I'm going to mention, and it makes the Jeda, I think, better than the Jagan. And starting off with that, we have the waist-mounted grenades, which is 600 damage, 6 rounds, and 300 range. You have to stand still to fire those, unfortunately, and sometimes there's like a little bit of a weird spread going on with it. But they do some decent damage. They're not going to be my go-to weapon. Those will be the next weapon I'll mention. But I think they have some part-breaking potential. At least from what my friends are telling me, from what I'm seeing other people play it with. This thing's pretty good at breaking legs, and the waist grenades are pretty good at doing that, or at least doing damage. Also, by the way, I see the heavy suit here, the heavy attack suit, the Red Rider. Let's just go away from him. See if he'll follow. Okay, he's gonna follow us. Let's see what he's gonna do. Okay, right here, heavy attack. That's nice. I'm gonna get tackled. Sometimes a little bit too obvious. But yeah, waist grenades. They're decent. They can be good for doubling up with for an assist. So that's nice. You probably don't want to use them like how I am right here in front of somebody, but it actually worked because apparently I broke that Red Rider's legs, so that's nice. And you'll see I get to I bait him by doing nothing. Oh yeah, there's the downswing. That's not the dead zone I was mentioning. That's just me just thinking I can hit my melee that way, but it didn't work that way. But hey, timeout for the first match, and we'll see what we got going on here real fast. Mission completed. And yeah, good works all around. And yeah, hey, I got top assist, and Taru did really well, and so did Mick. Going to praise them both. And I wish the raid went after the support a little bit more, but hey, first place, 4-2, not too bad at all. A lot of pursuit assists on that. And the next match, raiding match with Taru. And yeah, back to the weapons here. The next weapon you have is the armed grenade launcher, which is 475 damage, 4 rounds, and 250 range. And if you played the Zeta or the Bawu, anything that has the wrist grenades, you know what you're getting into with that. It takes 4 to stun, and they have some pretty good stun accumulation as well. What makes these really good is that you can use that as like a self-defense tool in case you don't want to use your instant stun rifle. I should probably separate those two. You can use that in place of your instant stun rifle, or you can use it as a self-defense tool. Especially against some like bigger bodysuits. I guess for example, the Jawash Custom, you'll probably be fighting that. Maybe. Just an example. And one of the good things about this certain weapon is that when you pair it with the Vulcans, you can get a really quick stun if you fire 2 of your grenades and then go for your Vulcans, you will hardly shoot any of your Vulcans, and you will get almost an immediate stun. And that can be really good for people that like to manage their ammo resources. So that way you can get more potential stuns in a match. Instead of just wasting 4 of your missiles to get a stun, you can shoot 2 missiles and then go for your Vulcans, and then you can shoot 2 more missiles and go for your Vulcans, and then you'll probably have enough Vulcans to try and go for another stun, maybe even less if you can throw in your waste missiles for some damage, or waste grenades. So yeah, pretty good utility there, And then finally you have the Jeda shield, which is considered a large size shield, and it's 5,000 HP on it. And now for the skills, you have Shock Absorber level 3, you have Quick Boost level 3, you have a Dodge Roll, you have Flight Control level 3, you have the Glide ability level 3, so you fall slower. You have Balancers, you have Ambac level 2, you have Force Injectors, and then you also have Fall Prevention. If you remember that from the Riga Z Custom, is that whenever you're jumping, you don't get shot down immediately, so that's nice for my dumbass, because sometimes when I'm switching weapons, I'll just accidentally jump. And then you have some radar stuff. You have Anti-Stealth, which is another suit at 450 that has that. I feel bad for Pixie players at this point now, because that's, let's see, some very common supports like the Zoc and the Isaac have Anti-Stealth. Now, this suit has it at 450, and it's a new suit that just came out that's 2-star, so there's probably going to be a lot of people playing it. So that's a lot of people with Anti-Stealth. And then you also have waist cushioning, and I believe that's for the little dump truck of an ass you have there. The little the boosters that you have, and you take 10% less damage when you get hit there. And then you have melee combo controller, which 2 swings. Be careful though, because you do have melee priority level 2. And yeah, that is the Jeda. And yeah, I can say it's a pretty good, just general suit. And that's sometimes you just need a suit like that. Although there are some like pros and cons of that. I guess I'll go ahead and go into the cons of the suit first. First of all, for a lot of people that think they want to go melee monster mode with this suit, you only have 6 close range slots, so you're not going to get a bunch of melee damage. You're not going to be doing like 4,000, per swing. But that's not an excuse to not melee, because it does have really good melee. Coming for that long-reaching downswing. Just be careful of the dead zone, which is a con too. Is that dead zone on the downswing? But yeah, it still got good melee. Another con is the waste missiles. You have to stand still to use those, so try not to use those in front of people. That'd be nice. And I think there's one more like really bad con I can think of. I'm trying to think of. I think those are the 2 main ones. Yeah, I think that's it. The lower slot ranges for your melee, and the dead zone on the melee as well. The downswing. You have to sit still for your waste grenades. I guess I could say you're a pretty chunky-ish suit. You're definitely pretty blocky, so maybe you're easier to hit. So keep that in mind as well. A little bit of a bigger hitbox, so you do have that aforementioned dump truck on you. So just keep watch of that. Watch your behind. For pros, this is actually a really good, just basic general suit, and there's already a lot of those at 450 and 500, which I guess you might want to say could be a con for the suit, which I'll get into in a little bit. But it does the job really well. I think it's better than the Jagan. The level 2 at 500 is better than Jagan level 1. Got some great stun accumulation, another positive. The melee is great. The weapon, you get instant stuns. So you got basically anything you want in your general. Dodge roll, melee combo controller, instant stun, great accumulation weapons. Pretty good. And you can even boost in the air. And at 450 as well. Not a lot of suits, I believe, can do that at 450. Just a few select. But earlier I mentioned how there's already a lot of basic generals, and how at 450 and 500, how that can be a kind of a con. I'm mostly gonna count that more for 500. There's a lot of suits that can do what the Jeda can do, but I get a lot better in some regards. Like the Mark II, you got your stun, and you go in for just incredible melee damage. It's still pretty powerful to this day. And then you have suits like the Gallus J. It's pretty much the I almost said the Jagan, the Jeda, where you got your multi-hit accumulation stuns. You got your rapid fire like Vulcan gun, and you got your stun rifle. Instant stun beam rifle, and you got some really disgusting melee combos that the Jeda doesn't have. So, and then for 450, there's some suits that can also do what the Jeda can do, but a little bit better. I say a little bit better. The Jeda has like its own ways of doing things. Something like the Gazome, where the Gazome has an instant stun beam rifle as well, but it also has really good melee damage, and it has really good range options as well. It gets that accumulation stun with the beam wrist it has, or the beam guns, and especially the missiles on the Gazome, really good. But yeah, that's just a few things about the Jeda that compared to other suits. I think some of the other like common suits you'll see at 500, 450, they can do some certain aspects better than the Jeda, but you know what? The Jeda's better than Jagan. But it doesn't make the Jeda bad, though. It's just that in some regards, like you don't want to run two Mark IIs, So you can put a Jeda in there, Oh, look at that. or at 450, you don't want to have like two Gazomes, because the Gazomes, I believe, can be glass cannon depending on how you build them. So maybe you want a Jagan that can be a little bit more beefier, that'd be nice. So the Jeda's got reasons to exist, so that's nice. And of course, if it's leg, if the leg breaking on the suit is as good as I think it is, then yeah, that can be really useful to have the suit as well. Just go for some leg breaking, try and go for some utility. The stun utility is actually pretty good on it as well, so that's a thing for the Jeda. So Jeda's not a bad suit, and since I kind of recorded this in two parts, so I didn't get to see the end of the second part of the video, but I know I got 4th place, and I got some pretty decent, I think, assist on it. 2nd place. I only got like 2 and 3, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, this is going to be the end of this video. If you guys enjoy this video, leave a like, subscribe if you want. I'd really appreciate it. And type up in the comment section how you feel about the Jeda. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I like the Jeda. I don't think I'm going to be playing it too much, unfortunately. Excuse me. Like I said, I already have a bunch of 450 and 500 suits that I just, generals that I like to play. The Gazome, I really like to play. The Mark II if I want to be an asshole. The Kapul 500, I love the Kapul. Then 450, I like to play a lot of supports in 450. And then I have some generals that I just kind of just pick, like the Barzan. The Barzan's a pretty useful range general. Maybe I'll pick the Jeda a little bit more, who knows. But it's a good general, just basic general unit, It will get the job done, and it's pretty good at what it does. And if you don't have a basic general at this point, you go ahead and roll for this. It's a 2-star. I highly recommend you do, and or unless you want to save up for the Moon Gundam, which maybe they'll do this like they did the Sentinel suits, where it's just one section of just these suits, So we'll probably get the Moon Gundam like 3 weeks from now. We'll have the Moon. The next suit's gonna be like the Psycho Doga, whatever it's called, and the next suit after that's gonna be the Vargul, and then we'll have the Moon Gundam. That's gonna be it for Moon Gundam. That's it. And then we'll move on to something else. I hope that's not what they do. We'll mix in some other suits, like some other MSV suits, or maybe some other suits from Moon Gundam, because there's a lot. Hopefully we'll get something weird and wacky, like the Agjin. If you know what that is, it's like a big purple act guy looking thing. It's really weird, but it's an amphibious suit, and I like to see that as like a high cost, unit, amphibious suit, because we need more of those. But yeah, that's gonna be it, and I will. Oh, one more thing. My posting schedule might be a little bit weird the following weeks. I got some stuff to do in real life, so I usually like to post at least a video every day, except for around the weekends. That might be changed up a little bit. I may be posting a little bit less. Maybe it'll stay the same. It'll have to depend. Maybe I'll post some more AQMs. People like those, so I don't think you guys would mind that at all. But yeah, that's going to be it, and I will see you guys later. Bye.